Hi, welcome to Film Files. Today I wanted to talk about A Real Pain. I was blown away by this film in many aspects. Even though, in some ways, if you look at this film, it could be just, a slice of life film, like two brothers go on a trip. And it's so light and breezy in that sense, whereas the film itself doesn't really have any inherent stakes, their lives are not in danger or any of that. It's just them taking a trip and trying to connect. So it's such a simple plot that this film follows. And in that way, it could almost be forgettable if it wasn't so spectacular. It wasn't just the writing, though. The performances in this film are some of the best that I've seen in a long time. They are so understated. The dialogues are so off the cuff. They felt like they were improv, even though they were meticulously planned. The characters and the specific quirks of each character really came through in this film. And the subject matter they deal with is so heavy. It's hard to juggle that subject matter with the two characters and their internal conflicts. Because truly, the two of their internal conflicts don't really have much to do with the Holocaust, which is the subject of the film. And that's such a heavy subject. But it stays in the background for a majority of the film. And when they do bring it up, they do an amazing job of that. There's a scene in the train when Kieran Culkin's character brings out the hypocrisy of this tourist group, travel party, is in first class, but they're going to see the concentration camps and how the Jews were transported 85 years ago in that similar train route, what their living conditions must have been, and how that affects him as a person and also as a travel group, how they start interpreting how that should affect them and how it doesn't affect them anymore, but also how they can feel the weight of the past. It is just amazingly well handled, and it could have gone really quite bad if they hadn't put such a subtle and understanding touch to it. In that sense, this film is just spectacular. I think I'm definitely going to watch this film again to pick up more nuances that I missed out the first watch. Jesse Eisenberg has a monologue in this film where he talks about how his character feels about Kieran Culkin's character, and it is one of the best written and best performed monologues I've ever seen. And it's so subtle. He's just talking about his cousin brother and how he is jealous of him, but at the time he hates him and he loves him. And it's so many emotions that he's trying to portray within this short monologue. And since we've seen Kieran Culkin's character for the first hour, 10 minutes of the film, so we know a little bit about that character and we have context for this monologue, it hits extra hard because Kieran Culkin had portrayed all of these elements within that performance. So I think as a team, the two of them have done an amazing job of carrying this film. I could really feel the lack of budget of this film. Even though this film takes place in multiple countries, in train stations, in trains, in airports, in luxury hotels, I felt like this film was shot so rushed and in such a small budget that I didn't even feel in contained thrillers that I saw in the same month, like Heretic, which is technically one location. And it didn't feel as low budget as this film feels, which is amazing because it brings an extra sense of realism to the film that the film didn't have that big of a budget. And they must have hurried through production because of the lack of budget. That's a common problem films face. And even with that problem, the way that this film turned out is just, again, I can't say enough good things about it. I would highly recommend everyone go watch this film. This film is truly moving, and that's the best compliment I can give it. It was a great watch, and I'm going to watch it again. Thank you.